Hey everybody, Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Yoshikane Shidogami, or white number 2 Nashiji Bunka 165mm knife. So the way this knife is constructed, it is the core steel, which you can see peeking out from the cladding here, is Shidogami, or white paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel. And then to make the maintenance a little bit easier, they've got soft stainless cladding on either side of that core steel wrapping around the top of the spine. That steel has what's known as a Nashiji, or pear skin finish on it. Might as well get our beauty shot while we're here. But again, this cladding has a Nashiji or pear skin mottled finish to it. And you can see kind of a Kasumi style grind, and then there's your core steel at the edge. Really nice fit and finish on these. They've got some heft to them. Let's look at the dimensions and weight, which can vary just a little bit from knife to knife, but this particular one is 182 grams or 6.4 ounces. It's contributed to by the handle being ebony, which is a rather heavy wood, and also the blade, which has some thickness and stiffness to it. So combined, that gives you a little bit more weight on this, which feels pretty good on the cutting board. The heat treat's about 62, 63 Rockwell on the core steel. Handle, again, is ebony. It is octagonal. It's nicely finished as one piece of ebony. Got a little bit of polish to the sides and finish on there. So really nice. It's a fairly dense wood, so it's a fairly heavy handle. But you can see a nice, tight glue up or seal job where it goes in, where the tang goes into the handle. So nicely done there. It's a beautifully crafted handle. That's going to bring the balance point back a little bit because the wood is, again, pretty dense. So there's your balance point on this. So if you pinch grip, it's definitely going to be a little handle heavy. Edge length on this one is about 167 millimeters or 6.6 inches. Overall length about 312 millimeters or 12.3 inches. And as I mentioned, these have a fair amount of stiffness and thickness to the blade at the spine, but they cut really well because they're thin where it counts. So this is about 4 millimeters thick at the back, and then about halfway down, you can see the polish on the spine there, by the way. About halfway down, I got about 2.4 millimeters, so it thins out pretty quickly. And then it pretty much keeps that. You got that corner turn on the reverse sword tip there. And then the grind is exactly what it looks like. So right where that Nashiji on the sides gives way to the grind, you can see that going down towards the tip, and they're nice and thin at the tip. So the tip works really great through product. And here's your choil shot. They're nice and thin where it counts there as well. So these have a nice combination of thinness at the edge and the tip, meat towards the middle, some stiffness at the spine. You'll get good food separation with this grind, and also fairly good food release because of that Nashiji finish helps avoid some of that suctioning of the ingredients to the side of the knife. You might sacrifice a little bit of wedging here, but it's a high performance grind on these. Height's about 50.9, 51 millimeters, so it's plenty tall. Neck's relatively thin. Good spot there for your finger on a pinch grip, so loads and loads of clearance on the cutting board, no problem there. I think I did this, but I'm going to do it again. Get our nice choil or beauty shot here. So they've got on the right side of the blade, I think it's hand engraved, although it could be laser engraved. It does have some texture to it when you run your fingers over it, so I think it might be hand engraved, but it's kind of lightly, so it could also be, as I mentioned, possibly laser engraved. But it looks really nice. It got a little texture to it. Here's your Nashiji, or mottled pear skin kind of finish. It's a pretty smooth Nashiji without a lot of texture to it. Then here's your grind down towards the edge, your core steel right there. Here's the left side of the blade. Again, really nice fit and finish on these. Here's your Nashiji finish on the side, grind towards the edge, and then your core steel. They've done a nice job on the spine. They polished it up, rounded off the corners a bit, and they've done the same thing on the choil. Really nice job on the choil into the neck right here. Our camera to do its thing. There we go. And so very smooth. These are a solid 7 out of 10 on my scale as far as edge sharpness out of the box. So really sharp right out of the box. Really clean grinds. When you look down the blade at a kind of a light source and maybe something with some writing or texture to it, you can kind of tell how clean the grind is. There's little undulations the very little variation and undulations there you would get with something with a more wavy grind to it. So these grinds are like super clean on this thing. It's excellent work. In terms of cutting board profile, let's take a look. One of the great things about Shitogami number 1 or number 2 steel is it's super easy to sharpen. So this thing will get just as sharp as you can get it, and it will edge retention's not on the high side, but they're so easy to sharpen, you'll want to sharpen it. It'll make you feel like a champ on the sharpening stone. So here's your cutting edge profile. And you can see it's fairly low. It just pretty much has almost a continuous belly with a little bit of stop at the heel, a little bit of flat spot there. You're not going to rock this much because you can see the tip is very low, and that's pretty normal for the style blade. So I'm getting about right there for that tip wants to start digging in. So you can rock over some short stuff, but it's really primarily more of a chopper, rocker kind of thing. Low, I should say push-pull cuts, glide cuts. Tip draws will be awesome on this because you don't have to lift the handle very high for tip draws through product. A little bit of flat at the back there. But just a real nice package, great fit and finish. Got a little heft and stiffness to it. Nice steel. It's kind of an heirloom quality blade and lasts for years in the kitchen. This is the Yoshikane Shitogami number 2 Nashiji Bunka 165mm knife from Chef Knives to Go.